In 2019, Kiss embarked on their 28th farewell tour, an arena tour. Oh wow, never seen a concert in an arena before! Oh look, Machine Gun Kelly performing in a theater, how original! Stop doing music. Oh look, Coldplay playing in a stadium, the most stereotypical concert venue you can— we'll move on. Listen, these venues are designed for live music, and quite frankly, I'm getting bored. But then recently, YouTube suggested to me a video of Pink Floyd performing in Pompeii, and I was like, what is that? Well, it turns out Pompeii is an ancient Roman city that is perfectly preserved because of a volcanic eruption like 2,000 years ago. Look, I didn't know. I'm not educated. But I'll tell you what I do know. This is not an ideal setting for a concert. Where's the electricity? Did they have a lot of electrical outlets 2,000 years ago? No, they did not. In fact, the first time Pink Floyd played there wasn't even an audience. Like, how do you get people there? There were no parking lots 2,000 years ago. And I can only imagine the ungodly amount of extension cords and equipment that they would need to drag out here to do this concert. It's just not feasible. In fact, years later, David Gilmour actually performed at Pompeii again, this time to a packed audience. So then I got to thinking, what are some other unconventional concerts that have actually been played? There are certainly some interesting venues, like the Sphere in Las Vegas, for example, a stage surrounded by 15,000 square meters of LED screens, creating possibly the most immersive concert experience you could ever see, even if it is U2. Or even the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. But again, while original and one of their kind, these venues are still designed to have concerts there. So I went on a quest to find some unconventional concert venues that were not meant to be played. Let's go back to May the 1st, 1975. News reporters gathered outside Fifth Avenue Hotel in New York for a press release. The Rolling Stones were set to make an appearance to announce their upcoming tour, but the press release never happened. Instead, the Rolling Stones showed up in the back of a frickin' flatbed truck, equipment in tow, playing Brown Sugar for an unsuspecting audience that freaked out and swarmed the streets for this flash mob concert. Oh my god, it's the Rolling Stones! I'm trying to get to work, assholes! So after performing Brown Sugar and rudely interrupting the flow of traffic, they threw out thousands of flyers with their upcoming tour dates, and then they f***ed off.
You ran down the street and saw Mick Jagger.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I still don't believe it.
What's that do for you?
Oh, totally agree. Mick Jagger also makes me go, Now, AC/DC ended up doing the same thing a year later for their music video to It's a Long Way to the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll. And it was upon this viewing that I actually realized what a terrible place a flatbed truck is to hold a concert. Honestly, what's powering all these guitar amps? Is there some dude running behind the truck with a bunch of extension cords? And then I thought, well, maybe they had a generator going somewhere, but it didn't look like it. And then I took a closer look and realized, well, the amps weren't even on. So basically, all the people on the sidewalk heard was drums with the occasional bagpipe and two guitarists dancing around like autistic chickens playing absolutely nothing. But it's AC/DC, so they get a pass. Now let me ask you something. You want to see a free concert? Well, I'll tell you how to do it. Go down to your local convenience store and slap the first person you see. Now you might be wondering, Steve, isn't that illegal? Exactly, because you're more likely to see a free concert in jail than you are in the real world. Seriously, you wouldn't think of prison as being a prime location for a concert, but apparently everyone's done it. Carlos Santana, B.B. King, Frank Sinatra, Grateful Dead, Bob Dylan. Most famously though, of course, Johnny Cash live at Folsom State Prison. And that album is generally referred to as one of the greatest albums of all time. Johnny Cash had lots of songs about prison and confinement, which earned the respect from the prisoners there, and he really connected with them. But as they say, not every prison concert is made in the sun. In 1976, the Sex Pistols decided to do their own live prison album, and it wasn't quite as successful. You see, the Sex Pistols are known for their raunchy, rebellious attitude, and they assumed that a room full of prison inmates would match that energy. And they didn't. I mean, you're playing a concert in prison. You expected them to follow your rules? People in jail are not generally known for their rule following. In fact, it's super fun to listen to the lack of audience participation and the disappointment in Johnny Rotten's voice in between songs.
Best captive audience I ever played. Boring, you're boring me. I bet you've all got piles from sitting down too much.
And the lack of inmate participation was not the only problem with this album. The album is plagued with faults in the equipment. The drums and the guitars completely overpower the vocals. And they forgot to record the bass guitar. Either that or the mic wasn't working. But it just leaves the whole mix sounding like it was recorded through a Talkboy with absolutely no bottom end. It sounds like balls! Like, listen to the guitars here. Was this tuned by a deaf person? And oh, you guys know what a sucker I am for a bad guitar solo. Honestly, after that performance, the band should have been incarcerated themselves. And in their next Unconventional concert, they almost were. A year after their live prison show, the Sex Pistols heard that Queen Elizabeth II was going to be celebrating her 25th anniversary of being queen. And the Sex Pistols, being the establishment-loving band that they are, decided it would be a good idea to set up their equipment on a boat and float by the House of Parliament while playing Anarchy in the UK. And the police had the boat surrounded faster than Johnny could say, "God save the Queen." But the band actually kept performing until the police literally cut the power to the boat and then evacuated everyone, even arresting a few of the attendees, including the Sex Pistols manager, who they also beat the living shit out of. You know what, Sex Pistols? Maybe you should just stick to regular venues. This is just not working.
Piss.
Now, when I think of prison concerts, the first one I think of is Metallica performing at San Quentin.
Metallica is giving jailhouse rock a whole new sound. The San Francisco-based band performed a free concert tonight for the inmates at San Quentin.
You know what? A free concert for prison inmates. Like, how about a free concert for law-abiding citizens? Hey man, what did it cost you to go see Metallica? Oh, about $400 for the ticket and like $1,400 in Ticketmaster fees. How did you see a Metallica concert? Oh, I punched out my wife and I got police escort to the front row of a Metallica concert. Oh my god, I love that for you. Like, you guys are literally incentivizing breaking the law. So anyways, back to Metallica giving a free concert for prison inmates. It was 2003 and they were doing a music video for their new song, Saint Anger, which we won't talk about. And since the inmates were subjected to Saint Anger, they decided it would only be fair to put on a concert for the inmates. Although when Metallica arrived to the prison, they literally had to sign a waiver, which would have been enough for me to be like, yeah, this, I'm not going in. Like, oh, thank you guys so much for putting on a free concert here. Now just sign here so that we're not legally responsible when you get shanked in the neck. Now, at this point, Metallica had not only played a concert in prison, but they've also played a concert in every continent in the world except for one, the Antarctic. And there's a reason why no other band has played the Antarctic, and it's because it's not the ideal setting for a concert. It's large, it's cold, it's snowy, there are no concert venues, and despite being like 3,500 miles wide, like your mom, the population is only like 1,000 people, namely scientists and psychopaths who like 24/7 winter. But determined to unlock their achievement of playing in every continent, they decided to set up a dome near a research base to host their hour-long concert, playing hits like Master of Puppets and Enter Snowman. Now, unfortunately, to prevent from noise pollution, they couldn't use guitar amps, they couldn't use any audio amplification of any kind because they thought that the noise would literally break ice chunks away, leaving everyone trapped under ice. Either that, or maybe they thought they would be pissing off the penguins, I don't know, but the whole concert was broadcasted through headphones. And because the dome was so small, there were only like 120 people in attendance. And these people actually won tickets through sweepstakes put on by Coca-Cola, in which they won a cruise to the Antarctic, which did not include a Sex Pistols performance, and of course, tickets to the show. So basically, if you want to see Metallica for free, you either have to win sweepstakes, or you have to shoot someone and go to jail. Oh, look, everyone, Lars can drink and play drums at the same time. No, I'm just kidding. Lars can't play drums. Now, maybe you don't want to freeze your nips off in the Antarctic? Maybe a concert in a volcano would be more your speed? Well, that's exactly what happened in 2016. A grand total of 20 people paid $2,000 to attend the first public concert in a volcano. Giger volcano in Iceland specifically. I butchered that one. But not only did the concert goers have to pay an arm and a ball, they also had to walk 2.5 miles over rugged terrain in sub-zero temperatures, and then a 6-minute lift ride 400 feet down into the volcano. And there they were treated to a concert by Icelandic singer Snorri Helgason and Chino Marino of the Deftones.
It's like you never.
And apparently the ticket buyers didn't even know who was going to be playing that day, which, you know, $2,000 for a ticket is quite the gamble when you don't know who's playing. Like, could you imagine paying that and then getting down to the volcano and they're like, everyone, here's your performer for the day, Yoko Ono! You'd be wishing the volcano would erupt. Now, you might be wondering, how is it safe to perform in a volcano? Aren't they generally unsafe and have
Liquid hot magma.
Well, luckily for them, the volcano was just like me, not active. So temperatures were not warm like you would expect from a volcano. In fact, it was actually colder than Santa's tits on Christmas night. And the instruments were like going out of tune. And in fact, the concert goers had to be evacuated right after because of extreme weather conditions. So unfortunately, that was the last time anyone saw Chino Marino in a volcano. That being said, guess who has the world record for the highest elevation concert in history? James Blunt performing 30,000 feet in the air on an airplane. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's fair that these guys just show up with an acoustic guitar and call it a concert for the record books. Like, you're just a dude with an acoustic. Anyone could do that. Look at what Metallica had to go through to play in the Antarctic. They brought all their frickin' instruments there. And you're just like, you're beautiful. And you know, I gotta tell ya, I hate airplanes to begin with. But if I was on an airplane and they told me that James Blunt was performing, I would tie a cinder block around my ankles and jump out. Listen, have you guys ever heard of the punk band The Mutants? Yeah, neither have I, but they are no stranger to playing weird concerts. In the 70s, they performed a concert at the Oakland School for the Deaf. I hate to be that guy, but why? You know, that says a lot about your confidence as a musician when you prefer your audience to be deaf. But you know what? That's not even the most interesting gig that they've played. In 1978, they played a gig with the Cramps at the Napa State Mental Hospital. That's right, a mental hospital decided to book a punk rock band. Oh, you know, we should bring in some entertainment for the patients. Maybe something nice and calming and relaxing. How about a punk rock band? Like, what? Are you out of your mind? Who decided this was a good idea? Like, what were they thinking?
What a cramp! And we're from New York City, and somebody told me you people are crazy.
Oh, well, that's a nice way to start out a concert at a mental state hospital. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. They tell me you're all a little cuckoo, but we're gonna have a great time.
How do you like the cramp so far, honey?
You know what my first thought was watching this video? This would never happen today. Back then, there were 0 shits given. Should we be concerned that the loud noises might disturb some of the patients? No, people in mental institutions love loud noises. The singer just called our patients nuts. Well, he's not wrong. And should we be allowing the patients to just go up on stage with the band? Oh, sure. What's the worst that can happen? One of them have a random violent outburst and attack one of the band members? Oh, well, yeah, that is one option. Like, there is no order here at all. There is no separation between the patients and the band. And there's even a couple times when the singer aggressively dances with one of the patients. Like, There's even times when the patients would literally steal the microphone from the singer and just yell into the mic. And honestly, they didn't sound that different from the singer. And I gotta tell you, it was so fun watching the singer wrestle with the patient to get the mic back. And this whole concert experience can be summed up in one clip. So what we have here is a patient dancing, and behind him the guitar is playing the worst guitar solo I've ever heard, and then this patient rolling on the stage to possess the guitarist's knee, and then of course this man trying to escape the walls. I don't know who decided this concert was a good idea, but my God, they were right.
I got cramps. What am I gonna do about it? I don't know. That's your problem, honey. I got them myself. Yeah.
Well, I want to see a free Metallica concert, so I'm gonna go kick a cat. Yeah, that's illegal, right? Excuse me.